car, SUV, or truck, guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay, come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.
Yes, indeed. I am pleased to say that the owner of Low Overhead Country, better known as Frontier Motors, has joined us. He is here ready, willing, and certainly more than able to take any phone calls from you. Let's say you wanted to get the price of a car or a truck or an SUV you were thinking of buying or selling or trading in. Now is the time. He is the guy. 478-3116. This is News Talk 1370 WCOA. I'm Don Parker. This is the Frontier Motor Show with Ivan Streckel. 478-3116. Good morning, sir.
Thank you, Don. And we are also videotaping this for our Blab TV customers. So I was going to say customers, future customers. So if you are watching this on TV, this is probably not a live show. We videotape this twice a month, and we rerun it every once in a while. And this show is not just about Frontier Motors, which obviously our goal is to get you familiar with Frontier Motors and what we do differently in the Pensacola area. There are over 100 dealers in Pensacola. It's a lot of car dealers for the size population that we have. I remember when I moved from Milwaukee about 23 years ago, there was about 64 used car dealerships in Milwaukee, which is about 5 times the size of Pensacola. So we've got a lot of car dealers. Most of them are small mom and pop operations. We have we started 21 years ago as a small dealership with 35 cars, and we've grown, and most of our growth is due to our repeat customer bank. Customers keep coming back in, buying another car from us, and seeking us out because of the service that we provide. We're up to approximately 350 cars in inventory. And one of the things that we do at Frontier Motors differently is that we give you advice when you're in the car market, whether you buy a car from us or not. And you only know if that's really true when you come in. I get so many people coming in and say, I don't want to take up your time. I said, well, if we're open till 6 o'clock, you can't be taking up my time. We're going to be here anyway. So just ask me what you want to ask me. If you find a car at another car dealership, why not ask us if it's a good deal or not? And please do this before you buy the car, not afterwards. I remember years ago, Don, we used to get all these calls where people, when this show was brand new, people would call us and they would say, hey, what do you think? What kind of deal did I get on my car? And I get the word out. I get the word out. I says, don't call me after you buy the car, because the only thing that I can do is make you feel bad if I tell you, well, I wish you wouldn't have. Yeah, paid $25,000 for a $20,000 car. It doesn't make you feel that good. So what we're trying to do on this radio/TV show is get the word out that you want to get the advice before you buy it. The average car on the road right now is 11.2 years. The average car on the road is 11.2 years. So for the average person, they buy a car probably if they're a 2-car family, about every 5 to 6 years, if they keep rotating those cars at an average of 11 years. So which means that you don't have a lot of practice in purchasing cars. That's where we come in. We buy cars and sell cars every day of the week. Matter of fact, we buy and sell about 60 cars. We sell about 60 cars a week, which means I've got to buy 60 cars a week. So we're pretty good at it. And that's why we don't have any problem giving you advice on what you should pay for a particular car. What is the most reliable car, maybe the least reliable car? What are the pluses and minuses of a certain brand, for example? And the reason that we can be objective with this, just like Consumers Reports, I've got my Consumers Reports right here. Matter of fact, the last one is 1 month old, and it's I love this one because it comes out twice a year, and it says the car reports, the best and the worst. They're very unbiased at Consumers Reports, so I do read them cover to cover. And we are also at Frontier Motors, and we do this based on our experience of 21 years at Frontier Motors and what cars we have sold to customers that have perhaps been very, very good cars, and also some cars that have not been so good cars where the customers have given us feedback and say, man, I wouldn't buy that. I'm not blaming you guys. You sold me the car, but the car was not that good of a car. It was very unreliable. So we match that up with Consumers Reports, and I'll tell you, I agree with almost everything they say. Not everything they say, but almost everything they say. And the nice thing about when you come to Frontier Motors, because we sell every make and model, we really don't have to sell you on a particular make and model. Now, I always talk about, for example, if you're looking at a Highline product and you're thinking about Lexus, for example, you go to the Lexus dealership and they will give you all kinds of Consumers Reports paraphernalia on why the Lexus is the best car out there. and it's probably close to being true. And then you go to the Audi dealership, and the Audi dealership will pull up, let's see, they will pull up April 2016's edition, which I have right here, that says that the Audi is the best brand to buy, and the Lexus is number 3. So the Audi dealership is going to tell you, no, the Audi's better than the Lexus. And then you go to the BMW dealership, and the BMW dealership says that the BMW is the best car. And these guys have all been trained on why their make and model is the best and why you should buy theirs. At Frontier Motors, we have all 3 of them right there. We have the Lexus, we have the Audi, we have the BMW. So you can test drive all 3. And we don't really care which one you buy. We just want you to buy one. So it doesn't really matter to us if you like the Audi better. Let's sell you the Audi. When you go to a new car dealership, that doesn't work. If you go to the Audi dealership and say, well, I like that BMW better, he's going to come up with all kinds of reasons why his deal is a better deal. And if they can't talk you into the make that or the model that you're looking for, then they talk to you on the price end of it. Well, my car is $3,000 cheaper than theirs, which makes it a better deal. Folks, it's not always about the price. Everybody knows that. I know that from being in the used car business that there's some times where we don't have the best prices at Frontier Motors. We might have a higher price than the competition. But if that is ever the case, which normally it's not, but if that ever is the case, it's because we have the lowest mileage car, or we have the most equipment, or we have the best condition. Most people will pay $500 or $1,000 more for a car that is an A1 condition. In other words, no scratches, no dings, not smoked in, clean history report, one owner car with brand new tires on it, versus a car that's down the street that's $1,000 less, but it has more miles on it, doesn't have the equipment, it's got 5 different owners, it's been in an accident. Wouldn't that make a difference? It would to me. If I'm buying the car, whether it be at auction or from private individual, I take all these things into account. I had a car the other day that one of our friends actually ran by me that he wanted to know if I'd be interested in buying it. And I got the ID number of the car. I plugged it into our system, and it shows up that a major accident was reported. The airbags were deployed. The vehicle had to be towed. And now it says that it has frame damage. There's a big red light on the Carfax report that says frame damage. What does that do to the value of his vehicle? Well, to me, it keeps me from buying the car. Now, if he wants to trade it, of course, I would take it in trade, but I'm going to diminish the value of that car. And on this particular car, it was a BMW. It was a $4,000 difference in my mind if I would purchase that car as a trade-in, because the only way that I'm going to be able to sell that car to a prospect is, number one, by disclosing it, and number two, by getting them a deal. Now, the vehicle has no issues. It's been on the road for the last 5 years after the accident. The car drives great. It looks great. There's no issues with the car, but it's a psychological thing that the vehicle is going to be difficult to sell because of its past. It's like an insurance company giving you, life insurance when you've had 4 heart attacks. It probably isn't going to happen. And if it is, it's going to be very expensive. And the same thing with a car. If the car has been in 4 accidents, it's going to be very inexpensive because most people are going to shy away with it. And that leads me to one other thing when we talk about some of the things that we do at Frontier Motors. One of the things we do is we give you letters of diminished value if you've been in an accident that was not your fault. We probably do about 2 to 3 of these a day at Frontier Motors, where people either call in or they come in and they say, hey, I heard the radio show or I saw you on TV, and my car was in an accident. Somebody ran a red light. They broadsided me. It had $7,000 of damage, and I would like you to put in writing what you feel the value depreciation on that car would be because of the diminished value. Don said, I've got about 20 minutes left, but I've got a friend of mine that's Dave Ramsey, and Dave Ramsey pretty much puts that 20 minutes into a 60-second commercial. So let's see what Dave's got to say about Frontier Motors.
Hey, Dave Ramsey here. For almost a decade, I've been telling you about my friends at Frontier Motors in Pensacola. The biggest reason is they help my listeners save thousands of dollars when purchasing a slightly used car over a brand new one. Consumer Reports says the average new car depreciates a whopping $9,200 in the first year alone. That's crazy. So if you're thinking new, don't. Go see Frontier Motors and see how much they can save you on a current year car with very low miles. And if your goal is to get out of debt, bring Frontier Motors your car, and they can write you a check on the spot. Frontier Motors can also do consignments, and they don't charge a fee or a commission. Frontier Motors have been helping the people in the Pensacola area for 21 years. They are the go-to dealer for free advice when it comes to buying or selling a car. Please go see my friends at Frontier Motors. And don't forget to tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Yeah, Dave does a really good job talking about Frontier Motors, and one of the things that he mentioned early in the commercial is that we do buy cars. Now, I know a lot of dealerships advertise this. There's actually a big billboard right behind the radio station here that says we buy cars even if you don't buy a car from us. The problem that you have at some of these new car dealerships, I've heard this feedback from my customers that have attempted to go dealer to dealer when they're ready to sell their car to see if they can get somebody bid on it. The problem you have is most dealerships employ buyers to buy their cars for them. They have a separate buying buyer. And the appraiser is the used car appraiser that appraises trade-ins. So you go to the dealership and you say, hey, you guys will buy my car. I want to get my car appraised. And you sit there and you're waiting and you're waiting. And one of the reasons you're waiting is because the buyer is out buying cars. At Frontier Motors, we have 5 buyers. So even if there's 2 of them off, that means we have 3 buyers at the dealership at all times. You should be able to get a buy quote from Frontier Motors if the car is there, not over the internet or on the phone, but we can give you a buy quote in writing within 15 minutes. The only time there might be an asterisk to that is if you got an older car that I would have to get inspected before I buy it. But let's say you're driving around in a 5-year-old car with 45,000 miles on it. We can give you a buy bid on the spot. We take it around the block, we scan the ID number, we do the history report, and we give you a buy bid. This is what we'll buy the car for. And sometimes if the buy bid is just not quite enough for you, we can also, like Dave Ramsey said, do a consignment. And the way that we do a consignment is we work out an agreement that you can live with on the price of the vehicle, and we don't charge a commission or a fee. Anything over that figure is ours. So it has to be a good deal for everybody. It has to be a good deal for you, the seller, so that you get more than wholesale value. It has to be a good deal for our customer that he's not paying more just because the car is on consignment. And of course, it has to be a good deal for me that I can still make some money on the car without overcharging for that car because it's consignment. Years ago, consignment got a bad rap because dealers were taking all cars on consignment, and a customer would come in with a $15,000 car, and he says, well, I want $20,000 for it. So the dealer would stick it on consignment. Well, I don't care. It's a free car. It fills up the lot. So he put it on consignment for $20,000, and they would charge $250 a month for this service. And they don't care if they sell it or not because they're making $250 a month. Why would they want to sell it over 10 months? They're going to make $2,200 on that car. So what we did is we changed that by saying, do not go to a dealer that charges a fee for consignment. We would love to buy a vehicle from a local Pensacola resident because we don't have to travel to the auctions. We buy cars in Orlando and Atlanta and Mississippi and New Orleans and Tampa. So we buy cars all over the South, but I've got to pay a shipping fee. If you bring me that car, you might be pleasantly surprised that you might get close to what you want. I appraise about 20 cars a day from private individuals. We appraise about 100 cars a day from trade-ins and auction cars and other dealerships' cars that call us for appraisals. But about 20 of those are private individuals that, and out of those 20, about 5 of them, we pay them what they're asking for the car because they're very reasonable and we feel that we can still make a small profit. Not as much, but a small profit on that car. So everybody's happy. I get an extra car. I don't have to pay my buyer. I don't have to pay an auction fee. I don't have to pay the shipping. I make a customer happy that recommends us because, well, those guys were really nice. They gave me a buy bid on my car and they wrote me a check and I was able to, and hopefully the next time they'll buy a car from us and send us their friends and relatives and coworkers. And then we get to sell that car to somebody that's going to say the same thing because it's a local car. It's a one-owner car. I know the history of the car. I know where it came from, which I don't know sometimes when we buy them at the auction. So there's all kinds of reasons why I would love to buy your car. And you know what? When you list your car on Craigslist, which seems to be the place where everybody lists stuff these days, well, why is Craigslist possible? Why is Craigslist so, I would say, popular? The one reason I can think of is it's free. People love free. So they put stuff on Craigslist. When you put a car on Craigslist, the first 5 or 6 paragraphs are about what you have to be careful of for scams on the internet. And one of the things that we talk about, especially in the wintertime when it gets dark out early, is that a person wants to drive your car. They work till 5 o'clock. They get to your house by 6. It's pitch dark. Number one, they can hardly see the car unless you got a floodlight. Number two, they want to test drive it in the dark. Number three, some people don't like driving cars in the dark. Number four, they're going to make you an offer, which sometimes is ridiculous. Number five, they have a trade-in that you might not want to take in. Number six, they might make you an offer with a down payment and you finance the rest. I see that happen a lot. And number seven, they want you to warranty the car. These are just some of the things that I'm coming up with that you're not going to want to do as a private person selling your car. So where do we come in? Well, we come in, you drive the Frontier Motors, we make you an offer. Let's say it's $20,000. We write you a check right on the spot. You get, as long as you have the title with you. You can cancel the insurance, take off your tag, and you're done. We buy 60 cars a week. I wish all 60 of those cars came from private individuals in the Pensacola area. Who makes the best cars? Changes. It changes from year to year, according to Consumers Reports. I had the 2016 edition of Consumers Reports, where they said the number one brand all around, and this is not for reliability, this is all around, was Audi. Number two was Subaru. Number three was Lexus. That was 2016. Now, in 17, it was Toyota, Lexus, and Kia. Kia. Interesting. Kia came from 9th place in 2016 to 3rd place. Now, who would think that? And I always snicker when a customer comes in and they want a small SUV. They're saying, and they're thinking, well, I want to look at a Chevy Equinox. I want to look at a Ford Escape. I want to look at, maybe the small Lexus or the Toyota or Honda usually comes up, the Toyota RAV4, the Honda. I said, what about the Kia Sportage or Sorento? No, I don't want no Kia.
Yeah,
Why is that? Why is that,
Yeah.
Don? Why do you think that
We
is?
know exactly why. They were a rotten car for some years.
A long time ago.
That's right.
21 years ago, we started
long
Frontier Motors, Don, and our banks would not finance a Hyundai or Kia. The reason they wouldn't finance a Hyundai or Kia, they cut them off because the vehicles would not last the term of the loan. So back then, you got a 48-month loan. The car would expire, literally. The motor would blow up sometimes within 36 months, and it was out of warranty. So fast forward 21 years later, Kia has made a huge turnaround. They come with a 5-year, 60,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty, the second, the best. Actually, until last year, that was the best warranty in business. Hyundai and Kia, and I think it was Mitsubishi, have a 5-year, 60. The only one that surpasses that this year, Don, Volkswagen in 2018 came out with a 6-year, 60,000-mile warranty. Pretty darn good. Bumper to bumper. You know why? Because of the fiasco they had. People weren't
Right,
going.
sure.
They weren't going to the Volkswagen showrooms anymore. So they stepped up the game and said, "Hey, we make a great car. We're going to stand behind our car." And they have now the best warranty in the business, other than and Kia's right up there with them. Kia was number 3. So look at a Kia. If you're thinking about any type of car, they make luxury cars. Other than trucks, they don't make a pickup truck, but they make luxury cars. They make sporty cars. I love Kia and Hyundai also. 2018 just came out last month. The Genesis. What do you know about Genesis, Don?
I don't.
The Genesis used to be sold under Hyundai.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Hyundai last year, or about a year and a half ago, split the brand up and says now Genesis is going to be our Highline luxury brand. So what they did is everybody usually knows what Lexus. Now, not everybody knows that Lexus is a Toyota.
Mm-hmm.
Lexus is Toyota's Highline division. Infiniti, if you don't know this, is Nissan's Highline division. Acura is Honda's Highline division. And now Genesis is Hyundai's Highline division. And Genesis sells a G80 and a G90. We just bought our first G80 last month. And we talk about depreciation like Dave Ramsey talked about. This is a $56,000 car that you can buy for $47,000. Let's make it $46,000 just for the sake of arithmetic.
Mhm.
This car has 2,000 miles on it. You can save $10,000. This car is about 4 months old, Don.
Mm-hmm.
And it's $10,000 less. And that's why we talk about depreciation, folks. And Genesis last year, according to Consumer Reports, was the best brand out there. And what they do is they take not just reliability, it has to be a reliable car, of course. They take reliability, they take customer satisfaction, they take drivability, and they take safety. And they rate all these cars and they give them scores and they put that all together and they come out with the best brand. Now, they also have a separate rating for just reliability. And reliability has always been Toyota and Lexus. Has always been number one and number two. But reliability is not the biggest thing out there. How about the drivability of the car? Is the car quiet? Is it smooth? Does it handle good? Does it have a good blind spot? What about safety? Does it come with a lot of safety features standard, or do you have to pay extra for these safety features? And what about customer satisfaction? What that means is, would the customer that bought this car buy it again? Well, if they keep saying no on a certain brand, well, they're not going to recommend it. Would you buy this car again? No. Well, why wouldn't you? Well, because ended up being a piece of crap.
Right.
So it's not going to make the brand. So this last 6-month period of time, Genesis is number one. Audi is number two. And I love Audi because now we have a local Audi dealership. It's a Sonic dealership. It's over here on 29. I think they opened it last April. And I love it because they have a local service department that we now can take our Audis to. One of the reasons I didn't sell a lot of Audis in the past, not because I didn't like the car, because people come and say, well, where's the closest service department? Well, it's over in Mobile. I don't want to drive to Mobile for service. Well, you really don't have to drive there for servicing. You can do that at Bobby Likas or any of the other places in town. Just keep track of it. Servicing would mean like your checkups and your oil changes and your fluids and stuff like that. Now, you would have to take it over there for warranty work. If something broke, if your power window broke on your car, you would literally have to take it over to Mobile and wait there or maybe drop it off. Hopefully, they'll give you a loaner. Now, you don't have to do that anymore. We got a local Audi dealership. Boy, I wish we had a local Jaguar dealership because I'm a Jaguar nut, and the locust Jaguar dealership is over in Mobile. Same thing with Infiniti. We do a good Jaguar business and a good Infiniti business, but you still have to overcome the objection. Well, people have to want it enough to buy it because we do save thousands of dollars over going to the other dealers. And the reason is because we're an independent used car dealership and we do not have a mausoleum. I read in my automotive news this morning before I came to the show looking for new material to cover that the average cost of a dealership last year to build a dealership was between $30 and $50 million. Now, I was astounded at that. I thought it would be more like between $15,000 and $30,000, depending how fancy you went. No, the minimum is $30 million was the average minimum. The high was $50 million. How much money do you have to make on a car to cover that overhead? And that's why even Consumer Reports says that the best place to buy a used car is at an independent dealer, not a new car dealer that sells used cars. And they said that the average savings was $3,000. Now, I don't really believe that in our area. That might be true for Manhattan. But in our area, it's about $1,500. I think it's about half of that. So what I'm saying is that I think, based on what Consumer Reports says and what I've seen, is that the savings from going over to the Jaguar dealership or the Infiniti dealership or the Lexus dealership to buy a used Lexus, for example, is about $1,500 on the average of what we can save you because of our overhead. We bought our dealership 21 years ago for $105,000. We stuck about $30,000 into it and painting it and putting new desks and carpeting in it. We've expanded since then where we bought another lot. These are little incremental lots that were $10,000, $20,000. We did buy one expensive lot that was about $200,000. But compared to $50 million, just think. And Don, even if you paid cash, right, even if some millionaire wrote a check for it, what about your taxes and insurance on that building? It's got to be crazy, even if you don't have a mortgage on it.
How about just keeping it air conditioned and heated?
Oh, my goodness. It's crazy. I just got back from West Palm Beach. I took a run out there, spent a weekend down there. And the car dealerships there are awesome. I went to Car Row. They're triple stories, and the cars are stacked up like they're glass buildings, and they're stacked up, and they're obviously I'm talking about Lamborghinis and stuff like that. But the overhead the amount of money they have to make per car has to be staggering to be able to pay the overhead. Come to an independent dealership like Frontier Motors, you'll be pleasantly surprised. 350 cars in inventory. Our cars, as long as they're less than 10 years old, We throw a drivetrain warranty on every car. Do not buy it from a dealership that sells your cars as is. Please don't make that mistake. I hear horror stories on a daily basis of people that went to car dealerships, bought a car as is. Something goes wrong within a week. They take it back to the dealership. The dealership tells them to go pound sand. Look, you bought it as is. We're not responsible. Get the heck out of here. Now, I don't know how you do that and maintain customer satisfaction and repeat business. I really don't understand it. But we make sure that when we sell a car that we can stand behind it. And we stand behind it because we sell good cars that aren't going to need anything. And let's just say this as an example, folks, if you buy a car from Frontier Motors, let's say you bought one today and 3 days later the check engine light comes on. And you call us and you say, hey, my check engine light just came on. What should we say to keep you happy? Well, I think what we should do is fix it. Mm-hmm. Isn't that unheard of in the used car business? When you buy a car, it is. And when we talk about that, I put a warranty on a car that's engine, transmission, transactional, by the way. So if you buy a car that's 1 year old, I'm going to give you a 9-year warranty. It's going to be 10 years total from the date that. So if you buy a 1 year old car, you're going to get 9 more years. I'll give you an example why we started this on a Hyundai. They advertise a 10-year warranty. Hyundai and Kia, by the way, have a 10-year drivetrain warranty. So I've lost some sales where they have gone and bought a new Hyundai because you get 10 years. By the way, if you buy a used Hyundai, you don't get that 10-year warranty. So we've hooked up with a certification warranty company that says now I can offer that warranty even on a used vehicle. So if you buy a 1 year Hyundai from us, which by the way has a 5-year, 60,000 mile warranty on everything, we're going to extend that up to 100,000 miles at no charge. It's included price of the car. I pay one fee and I can get all of our cars covered. So it really sets us apart from the competition that sells them as is. But be very careful when you buy a vehicle at a dealer that marks the box as is and doesn't give you the warranty. So stop in at Frontier Motors. Folks, we only got a couple of minutes left, so I'm hoping I'm not boring you, but I'm going to tell you things that we can help you with when you're in the car market. Number one, we can appraise your trade-in. If you're going to buy a brand new car and I can't talk you out of it, even if I save you $7,000 and I still can't talk you out of buying a 1 year old car with 5,000 miles on it, go ahead and buy that new one, but let me appraise the trade-in. We can help you with that. If you're going to sell your car yourself, we can tell you what you should sell it for. We can also tell you what we'll write you a check for. If you're going to buy a used car somewhere and they don't do Carfax reports, call us. We will do the Carfax report at no charge. It's almost $45 for a Carfax report. We do them at no charge for anybody that calls, and also the auto check, which is the second largest provider of history reports. So we run them both for you at no charge. We'll also tell you what you should get for your trade-in. If you're buying a used car somewhere, we'll tell you what to pay for the used car, and we'll tell you what you should get for the trade-in. And if they won't give you that, we'll just write you a check for the car, and you can still go buy the car of your dreams wherever you want. You can check our website out. We got a brand new website. We got our faces on there. All of our employees are on there. And we have 350 cars on there with 31 or more detailed photographs. They all have prices. You can check out this show that we just videotaped for Blab. You can just go on YouTube, plug in Frontier Motors, and my ugly mug is going to come up there, and you're going to have a 30-minute commercial that we've done. So if you want to share this with people that are out of the area, because we give you that free advice. Whenever you're in the car market, call us first before you sign the dotted line. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching. Have a great day. Auf Wiedersehen.
You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay. Come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier. We've got the right price. Frontier. We'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors. Low overhead country.